is Nutrition in Plant from class 7th. In class 6, you have learned that food is essential for all living organisms. You also learned that carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals are components of foods. These components of foods are called nutrients and are necessary for our body. All living organisms require food. Plant can synthesize food for themselves, but animal, including human, cannot. They get it from the plants or animals they eat plants. Thus, human and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants. Mode of nutrition in plant. Plant are the organisms that can prepare food for themselves by using water, carbon dioxide and mineral. The raw material are present in their surrounding. The nutrients enable living organisms to build their bodies, to grow, to repair damaged parts of their bodies and provide the energy to carry out life process. Nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body. The mode of nutrition in which organisms make food themselves for simple substances is called autotrophic. Auto means self, trophos means nutrition. Therefore, plants are called autotrophs. Animals and most other organisms take in food and prepare by a plant. They are called heterotrophs. Heteros means other. Now we may ask where the food factories of plants are located, whether food is made in all parts of the plants or in certain parts. How do plants obtain the raw material from the surrounding? How do they support them to the food factories of plants? Leaves are the food factories of plants, therefore, all the raw materials must reach the leaf. Water and mineral present in the soil are absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves. Carbon dioxide from air is taken in through the tiny pore present on the surface of the leaves. These pores are surrounded by guard cells. Such pores are called stomata. You have seen that buildings are made of bricks. Similarly, the bodies of living organisms are made of tiny units called cell. Cell can be seen only under the microscopes. Some organisms are made of only one cell. The cell is enclosed by a tiny outer boundary called the cell membrane. Most cell has a distinct, centrally located special structure called the nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded by a jelly-like substance called cytoplasm. Water and mineral are transported to the leaves by the vessels which run like pipe through the roots, the stem, the branch, the leaves. They form a continuous path or passage for the nutrients to reach the leaves. They are called vessels. You will learn more about transport of material in plants in chapter 7. The leaves have green pigment called chlorophyll. It helps leaves to capture the energy of the sunlight. This energy is utilized to synthesize prepare food for carbon dioxide and water. Since the synthesis of food occurs in the presence of sunlight, it is called photosynthesis. Photolight synthesis means to combine. So we find that chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water are necessary to carry out the process of photosynthesis. It is a unique process on the earth. The solar is captured by the leaves and stored in the plants in the form of food. Thus, the sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. Can you imagine life on earth in the absence of photosynthesis? In the absence of photosynthesis, there would not be any food. The survival of almost all living organisms directly or indirectly depend upon the food made by the plants. Besides oxygen, which is essential for the survival of all organisms, is produced during photosynthesis. In the absence of photosynthesis, life would be impossible on earth. During photosynthesis, chlorophyll contains cell of leaves in the presence of sunlight, use carbon dioxide and water to synthesize carbohydrate. The process can be represented in an equation: carbon dioxide plus water is equals to carbohydrate plus oxygen, and it requires sunlight and chlorophyll. Besides leaves, photosynthesis also takes place in other green part of the plant. In green stem, green branches, the desert plant have scaled or spine-like leaves to reduce loss of water by transpiration. These plants have green stem which carry out photosynthesis. During the process, oxygen is released. The presence of starch in leaf indicates the occurrence of photosynthesis. Starch is also a carbohydrate. Perform iodine test with the leaves of both the plants as you studied in class 6 or record your result. Now leave the pot which are earlier kept in the dark in the sunlight for 3 to 4 days and perform the iodine test again on its leaves. Record your observation in your notebook. The leaves other than green also have chlorophyll. The large amount of red, brown and other pigment masks the green color. Photosynthesis takes place in these leaves also. You often see slimy green patches in ponds or stagnant water bodies. These are generally formed by the growth of the organism called algae. Can you guess why algae are green in color? They contain chlorophyll, which gives them the green color. Algae can also prepare their own food by photosynthesis. Synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrate. You have just learned that the plant synthesis carbohydrate, though the process of photosynthesis. The Carbohydrates are made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. These are used to synthesize other components of food such as protein and fats. But protein are nitrogenous substances which contain nitrogen. From where do the plants obtain nitrogen? Recall that nitrogen is present in abundance in gases from air formed in the air. However, plant cannot absorb nitrogen in this form. Soil has certain bacteria that convert gaseous nitrogen into a soluble form and release it into the soil. These are observed by the plants along with the water. Also, you might have seen farmers adding fertilizer rich in nitrogen to the soil. In this way, the plant fulfill their requirement of nitrogen along with the other constituents. Plants can then synthesize protein and vitamins. Other modes of nutrition in plant. There are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. They cannot synthesize food. How do they survive and form? Where do they derive nutrition? Like human and animal, such plants depend on the food produced by the other plant. They are use the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Do you see a yellow ring branched structure twining around of the stem and branch of a tree? This is called plant called Cascota amarbale. It does not have chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it's climbing. The plant on which it climbs is called the host, since it deprived the host of valuable nutrition. Cascota is called the parasite. Are we and other animal also a kind of parasite? You should think about it and discuss with your teacher. Have you seen or heard of plant that can eat animal? There are a few plants which can trap insect and digest them. It is not amazing. Such plants may green or some other color. Look at the plant in figure 1.6, the pitcher-like or jug-like structure. It is the modified part of leaf. The apex of the leaf form a lift which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. Inside the pitcher there are hair which are directly downward. When an insect lands in the pitcher, the lid closed and the trapped insect entangled into the hair. The lid closed and the insect is trapped. The insect is digested by the digestive juice secreted in the pitcher and its nutrients are absorbed. Such insect-eating plants are called insectivorous plants. It is possible that such plants do not get all the required nutrients from the soil in which they grow. Saprotrophs. You might have seen the packet of mushroom sold in the vegetable market. You have also seen fluffy umbrella-like patches growing in moist soil or in rotten wood during the rainy season. Let us find out what type of nutrition they need to survive and from where they get them. These organisms are called fungi. They are a different mode of nutrition. They absorb the nutrition from the bread. This mode of nutrition in which organisms take in nutrition from dead and decaying matter is called saprotrophic nutrition. Such organisms with saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Fungi also grow on pickles, leather, clothes, and other articles that are left in hot and humid weather for a long time. During the rainy season, they spoil many things. Ask your parents about the of fungi in your house. The fungal spores are generally present in air. When they land on wet and warm things, they germinate and grow. Now you are figure out how we can protect our things from getting spoiled. Some organisms live together and share both shelter and nutrition. This relationship is called symbiosis. For example, certain fungi live inside the root of plants. The plant provided nutrition to the fungus, and in return, the fungus provide water and certain nutrition. In organism called lichen, a chlorophyll containing partner, which is an alga, and fungus live together. The fungus provides shelter, water, mineral to the alga, and in return, the alga uh, prepare and provide food to the fungus. How nutrients are replenished in the soil. Have you seen farmers spreading manure or fertilizer in the field, or gardener using them in lawn or in pots? Do you know why this is done? You learn that plants absorb mineral and nutrition from the soil, so their amount in the soil keep on decline. Fertilizer and manures contain nutrition such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, etc. These nutrition needed to be added from time to time to enrich the soil. We can grow plants and keep them healthy if we are fulfill the nutrition requirement of plant. Usually, crop plant absorb a lot of nitrogen and the soil become deficient in nitrogen. You learn that though nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air, plant cannot use it in the manner they can use carbon dioxide. They needed nitrogen in a soluble form. The bacteria called rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into a usable form, but rhizobium cannot make its own food, so it is often live in the root of the grams, pea, moong, beans, and other legumes and provide them with the nitrogen. In return, the plant provide food and shelter to the bacteria. Thus, they have symbiotic relationship. This association is a great of significance for the farmer. They can reduce the use of nitrogen fertilizer where legumes are grown. Most of the pulses, dals, are obtained from leguminous plants. In this chapter, you learn that most of the plants are autotrophs. Only a few plants are parasitic or saprophytic. They derive nitrogen from other organisms. All animals are categorized as heterotrophic since they depend on the plants or other animal for food. Can we say that the insectivorous plants are partial heterotrophic? Summary. All organisms need food and utilize it to get energy for growth and maintenance of their body. Green plants synthesize food for themselves by the process of photosynthesis. They are autotroph. Plants like cuscut are parasitic. They take food from the host plant. Plants use simple chemical substance like carbon dioxide, water, mineral for the synthesis of food. Chlorophyll, water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight are the essential requirement for photosynthesis. Complex chemical substances such as carbohydrate are the product of photosynthesis. Solar energy is absorbed by the chlorophyll present in leaves and plants. Oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. Oxygen released in photosynthesis is utilized by living organisms for their survival. Many fungi derive nutrition from dead and decaying matter. They are saprophytic. A few plants and all organisms are dependent on other for their nutrition are called heterotrophs. That's all for this chapter. Hope you like the chapter. And if you like the chapter, please share this summary to your friends so that they can also get some knowledge regarding this.